Good evening, everyone. It is Tuesday, March 10th, 2026. This is Truth News. I am Walter Bass. It is day 1643 since my 7-year-old son was kidnapped, violently sexually assaulted, and murdered by serial child murderer State Judge Kelly Hansen of Riverside County, California, in the city of Marietta. As I make phone calls and emails and YouTube videos every single day, Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department, 3rd District, told me that Donald Trump ate my son. As we know, cannibalism of children is popular in the United States of America these days. I've been told by Capitol Police Intelligence that my son is dead to stop calling. That was in 2024. And I have endured years of retaliation, terrorism, and the intelligence agencies using private citizens and civilians for their scapegoats, for their cat's paws, to just conduct emotional and psychological warfare upon me for reporting child sex trafficking to the United States government. Monday, September 13th of 2021, when I walked into the FBI San Diego field office with a folder full of evidence of a child sex trafficking ring operating in Southern California, consisting of an unmarked of Project Touch, State Judge Kelly Hansen of Marietta, California, the Marietta Police Department, the Riverside County Sheriff's Department, and Riverside County CPS. And I reported this to Attorney General Rob Bonta, U.S. Attorney Adam Gordon, Gavin Newsom, Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tim Burchett, Mike Johnson, Kevin McCarthy when he was Speaker of the House. That's how long this has been going on. And the only thing I've gotten from it is assaulted several times, 3 to be exact, 3 physical assaults, 3 years living in a car, 3 mental health holds, and the intelligence agencies going on my places of employment to use private civilians to just antagonize me, patronize me, ridicule me, and basically try to make me feel like crap because I don't want children raped, murdered, and sold in the United States of America in 2026. And you would be amazed at how many private citizens are happy to accommodate the federal government to aid and abet raping, murdering, and selling children. Some of these people claim to be Christians, believe it or not, claim to serve God, and are attacking me because I reported child sex trafficking to the FBI Monday, September 13th of 2021. What a country, what a state. And we're going to get to the Bible, what the Bible says about this. And, before we get into today's show, which is going to be a short one, I've got this many notes taken, about 3/4 of a page, and it's going to be over the Iran war or strategic military operation, strategic air, whatever it is. We're going to go over what these people say about this. But before we do, I just want to say that as much as the Bible tells me this is how men are going to behave at the end of days, and we're going to get into that, 2 Timothy 3, what it says about them being prideful and arrogant and boastful and full of greed and lust and just hate. I can't believe how cold and hard and callous human beings have become towards each other. It just is devastating to me. As an empathist that has empathy, I don't know if that's the right word, empathist, is that a word? Let's Google that. I don't want to mislead you. It sounds right to me, empathist. Empathist, it is a word. An empathist is a person with a high capacity to intuitively feel, understand, and absorb the emotions, physical sensations, and attitudes of others as if they were their own. I am definitely an empathist. And I just can't believe, as an empathist, how just cold, callous, not towards just each other. I mean, towards children. What kind of man? It treats me like crap because I care about children. I'll tell you who. A lot of people I've come across from California to Oklahoma City, the FBI, the Secret Service, Homeland Security, the Oklahoma City Detective Intelligence, Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department, Capitol Hill Police Intelligence, 911 on Capitol Hill. You would be amazed at how many just cold, callous people actually hate me for caring about children. I don't understand what's the problem with caring about children in the United States of America in 2026. If someone can enlighten me, please. Please do. Go on this page, look up the email, truth.news963@gmail.com or mrwayne963@gmail.com. If anyone can explain to me what is to be gained by one human being being evil and hateful towards another human being, what is gained? Because I just can't wrap my brain around it. I can't understand it. And it goes on daily. You go ahead and try to serve God, try to be a good person, try to lift other people up who are having a bad day, in a bad mood, or just walk around full of evil and hate. Go ahead and say something nice to somebody full of evil and hate and see how they treat you. Go ahead. Let me know. I can tell you how they're going to treat you. They're going to attack you. They're going to belittle you. They're going to patronize you. They're going to ridicule you. They're going to talk down to you. I don't understand what's being gained. I don't get it. But I digress. Let's get into today's show. And I will show a picture of the judge at the end of the show. Let me go ahead and do that now before we get into today's show. So you can see a serial child murderer who's employed as a state judge with 16 years worth of victims. 16 years, and I just seen we need to honor our sponsor for today. 16 years, this man that I'm going to show you has been kidnapping, raping, torturing, abusing, murdering, and selling children. That man right there, Kelly L. Hansen from Riverside County, a devout Mormon who went to BYU University from Utah, part of the Mormon cult. And he thinks that kidnapping little boys, raping little boys, torturing little boys, murdering little boys is a perk of the job as an elected state judge in the United States of America in 2026. Yeah, that's right. That man thinks that. So let's give a shout out to our sponsor for today, Donald J. Trump, who now has a presidential combo at McDonald's. That's right. It's a McFetus sandwich with fried baby flesh between the buns of a Filet-O-Fish sandwich, large fry, and a Diet Coke for $999.99. That's the fresh McFetus sandwich combo, the presidential combo, with fried baby flesh on the buns of a Filet-O-Fish sandwich, a large fry, and a Diet Coke for $999.99. Please go to McDonald's and get your presidential combo today. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. Now that that's out of the way, let's get on with our show. 155 children murdered by the United States military. Let that sink in for a minute. It's 2026. And the United States military drops Tomahawk missiles on girls' schools ages 7 to 12, murdering 155 little girls in Iran. A country 18 hours away flight time, 6,300 miles away, we're murdering children. Not to mention what we do to our own children here. 155 innocent children were bombed by the United States military, blown to pieces, destroyed. They will never grow up. They will never graduate school. They'll never drive. They'll never fall in love. They'll never have families. They'll never experience adulthood. 7 to 12 years old, murdered by the United States government. And I don't want to hear that's casualties of war. Children are not casualties of war. Children are innocent. They didn't ask for this. Those kids didn't ask to be born in Iran. They didn't ask for our greatest ally and the United States to team up and start bombing their country they were born in. You don't get to choose where you're born. You don't get to choose who your parents are. Most people don't even get to choose their religion. Most people are religious because of where they're born. That's a fact. Or what their parents teach them. So we're murdering children by the hundreds in single strikes in the United States military. That's the best we can do as a society, as a country. That's the best humanity has to offer in 2026. Is to bomb little girls' schools and murder 155 children. And then Pete Hegseth has the audacity to say that terrorists are shooting missiles from schools and hospitals. That's how the United States military, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, that's his justification for mass murdering 155 innocent children. Is blame it on someone else. Blame it on the country you're bombing. The last time I checked, Iran hasn't bombed the United States of America. I have not seen Iran do one thing to the United States of America. I haven't seen one terrorist attack. I haven't seen one bombing. I haven't seen one missile. I haven't seen one plane. I haven't seen one shooting from an Iranian terrorist in the United States of America. And we're murdering 155 innocent children in one fell swoop and blaming it on Iran. It's disgusting. There's no excuse for any of this. There's no excuse for human beings to behave like this. These people are not human beings. Lindsey Graham is not a human being. That's a creature. That's a demon. That's a lunatic. The man needs to be in a straitjacket in a padded room in Bellevue Hospital in New York City, committed. He needs to be in Stony Brook. He needs to be somewhere. He needs to be committed somewhere. And he's not the only one. Pete Hegseth, Donald Trump, Laura Loomer, Mike Johnson. These people need straitjackets and padded rooms. And to have the audacity to get in front of cameras and microphones and say that murdering 155 innocent children is perfectly acceptable, it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable to me. None of this is acceptable. Child sex trafficking, the Einstein files, the government corruption, none of it. It's not acceptable. So Lindsey Graham, Donald Trump, Pete Hegseth say we're at war. Markwayne Mullins also says we're at war, but then he says we're not. He misspoke. It's a misspeak, his exact words. We're at war, we're not at war. That's Markwayne Mullins literally in the same breath. We're at war, oh, I misspoke, we're not at war. Mike Johnson, Anna Paulina Luna says we're not at war. So the President and Secretary of Defense say we're at war. Markwayne Mullins, Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, and Anna Paulina Luna, part of the Predator Beach cult down there in Florida, says we're not at war. But yet $11 billion has been spent on this war so far. $11 billion to murder 155 children. And in the words of Lindsey Graham, best money we've ever spent. $11 billion to blow up a bunch of oil refineries, plume toxic smoke into the sky, ruin an entire country. They're human beings. I don't care. I don't care if they're Iranians. I don't care if they're from Kuwait. I don't care if they're from Qatar. I don't care if they're from Saudi Arabia. I don't care if they're from Russia. I don't care if they're from China. They're human beings. And if they don't bother you, don't bother them. Just leave them alone. Leave each other. Everybody just needs to leave everybody alone. Everybody worry about yourselves. That's it. If America would just worry about America, we wouldn't be in Venezuela. We wouldn't be in Lebanon. We wouldn't be in Syria. We wouldn't be in Iran. We wouldn't be in Cuba. Greenland. Mind your business. Mind your business. And we're going to get into why all this is happening. So, not only are they bombing little girls' schools and murdering 155 innocent children, they're bombing hospitals. Hospitals. People are already sick and wounded trying to heal. They're on their deathbed. And you're going to bomb hospitals? Is that not mentally as sick as you can get? Bombing a hospital? So far, and these numbers are not accurate, 7 United States military members dead, 150 wounded. Those are not accurate. Those are not accurate at all, I guarantee it. We got more than 100 dead. All of these bombings, all of our bases being bombed, you're telling me 7? 7. So how does this work? So there's like 1 or 2 people on these military bases, and it just so happens on one base, 1 dies, on another base, 2 die. It doesn't work like that. There are hundreds of soldiers on these bases at any given time to make them operational. And to just kill 1 or 2 here and there is actually impossible because the military moves in units, groups, battalions. They move in numbers. Whether it's 20 or 30 or 40 at once, or hundreds or thousands. You don't murder just 1 or 2 United States service members, lone people out by themselves. It don't work like that. And if you did, it would be a general or commander, and they would still have security around them. They would still have military personnel around them. So, let's be honest. Our government's gone crazy. They've gone crazy, and we know what it's all over. It's Epstein Fury. That's what this is, Epstein Fury. They are absolutely furious that they've been exposed for rapist of children, for cannibalism of children, for murdering children. Their little satanic cabal has been exposed. And the whole world knows who and what they are. And they're taking it out on everybody else. Because that's what they do. They lash out at everybody else for their own bad behavior. I deal with this all the time. All the time I deal with this. You know, I've got a clear conscience. I've got a clean conscience. And anything I do wrong, I am the first one to admit it and move on because I want to correct it and it's called keeping your side of the street clean. What you do on your side of the street, keep it on your side of the street. But my side of the street, I keep it clean. I'm not going to carry around a bunch of secrets. I'm not going to do a bunch of filth and nastiness and lie. I'm not going to treat people like crap. I'm not going to participate in this evil. I don't care. I don't care if the whole world, everyone starts being evil. I'm not going. I'm not doing it. No, I'm not. I refuse to. And by the way, the reason this is Epstein Fury is because while they are bombing and burning Tehran to the ground, murdering 155 innocent children, they have quietly released more Epstein files. Quietly. Real secretively. You see, when they were held accountable by Congress and the Epstein Files Act passed, and legally by law they were forced to release the files, they decided, we'll release them. Here's an idea. Let's go murder 155 children in Iran. We'll make all the media talk about those kids being murdered, and then we'll release our Epstein files and nobody will see how many children we've murdered. You know, it's kind of like in the criminal world, if a guy is, selling drugs and he gets caught by the cops, what do the cops always say? Who do you get them from? Who are you buying it from? You give us information and we'll let you go. So what they're doing is they're telling on the next person. They're telling on Iran. They're blowing up children in Iran to make everybody say, look, 155 children died in Iran. Don't worry about the children we murdered in the Epstein files. Don't worry about all the American children we've raped, murdered, and sold. Look at Iran. Look over there. It's a never-ending diversion tactic. Diversion and distraction. Look over there. Look over there. Look over there. Don't look here. Don't look at me. Look at them. But you, but you, but you. How many times do you hear that from this administration? From everyone. That's everyone's modus operandi. If you call them out on anything they do wrong, their natural response is, but you, but you, but you, but the Democrats, but the Republicans, but the media, but them, but that, but this, but that. It's horrible. It's horrible. And today, ladies and gentlemen, Erica Kirk, who blatantly has involvement in her husband's murder. She was blatantly involved. She didn't pull the trigger, but she definitely gave information, condoned it, advocated for it, and stood by and let it happen. That's blatantly obvious. Erica Kirk is a murderer of her own husband to take over his business, take over his movement, use his name for her own political agenda, her own political goals. Because Erica Kirk wants power and attention like nobody I've ever seen before in my life. Now, I've never seen anybody. So I did take a screenshot of today's news article, and we're going to look at it. And we're going to read, President Trump has appointed Erica Kirk, the widow of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, to the Air Force Academy's Board of Visitors, having her replace her husband. Comprising 16 members, the Board of Visitors is responsible for making recommendations to the Defense Secretary for changes at the Air Force Academy. The board provides an annual report on the Military Institute's morale, financial state, and academics. Well, that's who I want in charge of morale and finances is Erica Kirk and her money laundering, child sex trafficking schemes around the world from Romania to, Puerto Rico? Or, let's see, where Erica Kirk, I just did this yesterday. Costa Rica. Jacob, Costa Rica. That's who I want advising our United States military's Erica Kirk, who's involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk so she could take over his movement, his organization. Take in, $250 million in 4 or 5 months? And talk about being vice president of the United States of America? You gotta be kidding me. You can't be serious. You cannot be serious with this. These people are just out of their minds. And just for clarification, we're at the 23-minute mark. I got to get into some scripture because this is all laid out. Just for clarification, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 2 of the United States Constitution grants Congress exclusive power to formally declare war. So while we're bombing schools and murdering 155 children, I believe that would be considered an act of war on any country's soil, whether it's United States, China, Russia, North Korea, South Korea, Argentina, Colombia, Australia, New Zealand. If you bombed a school in any nation on this planet and murdered 155 children, I do believe it would be considered an act of war. But the Speaker of the House, and Anna Paulina Luna, and Markwayne Mullins says, no, it's not a war, it's military strategic actions, military strikes. We're murdering children and trying to justify it. That's what it boils down to. But then again, we've been murdering children in this country for decades, haven't we? I know I haven't seen or heard from my son since 2021. I've been told my son was eaten by Donald J. Trump by the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department, 3rd District. I've been told by Capitol Police Intelligence my son was dead. And I haven't seen or heard from him since 2021, so I'm sure my son's dead. I can't even get his teeth, toenails, fingernails, and hair back so I could give him a proper funeral and move on with my life. And then I got to deal with civilians doing the bidding for the FBI because the FBI rapes, murders, and sells children. So they run up to private citizens and civilians and tell them, hey, we need you to poke, prod, investigate, and study this guy for us because he don't want children raped, murdered, and sold. So are you with us? And you'd be amazed at how many private citizens are saying, "We're with you, sir. Best of the best of the best, sir. Yes, sir, we're with the FBI. We're all about raping, murdering, and selling children here. Yes, sir. We're glad to do your bidding." Every day I deal with this crap. Every day I deal with this nonsense, childish, juvenile behavior. And grown men claiming to be Christians, claiming to believe in God, messing with me on behalf of the FBI to defend the rape, murder, and sale of children. I don't know what God they serve, but I know who I serve. My Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So, I want to get into this, 2 Timothy. We're going to start at 3, and I'm going to go through this. And whether you believe in God or not makes no difference. It really makes no difference. Doesn't matter. If you don't have to believe in gravity. Go jump off a building and let me know what happens. But realize this, that in the last days difficult times will come. For men will be lovers of self, lovers of money, boastful, arrogant, revelers, disobedient to parents, ungrateful, unholy, unloving, irreconcilable, malicious gossips, without self-control, brutal, haters of good, treacherous, reckless, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, holding a form of godliness although they have denied its power. Avoid such men as these, for among them are those who enter into households and captivate weak women weighed down with sins, fed on by various impulses, always learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. It's amazing how some people know, but they don't know the truth. Some people know everything there is to know about a certain topic or subject, but they don't know the truth about humanity, about God, about how you're supposed to conduct yourself as a human being. They could tell you anything you wanted to know about the chemical compounds or makeup or anything about social media, music. They know all kinds of trivia, but they just don't know the truth about God, humanity, and what you're supposed to do as a human being according to your Creator. And these are people claiming to be Christians. These are people claiming to love God. And they act like that. Let me run through that list again. And this is for the people, whether you believe or not. You look around our nation, our country, our society. You go to work tomorrow. And I want you to go to work with a good attitude. I want you to speak positive to all of your coworkers. Just say nice things. You look great. You're doing a great job. Glad you're here. Just say little nice things like that. Try to boost morale. And you tell me if these people aren't lovers of money, lovers of self, boastful, arrogant, revelers, disobedient to parents, ungrateful, unholy, unloving, irreconcilable, malicious gossips, without self-control, brutal, haters of good, treacherous, reckless, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, holding to a form of godliness although they have denied its power. Avoid such men as these, for among them are those who enter into households and captivate weak women weighed down with sins, led on by various impulses, always learning, but never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. You tell me how you get it. Go ahead, John. I dare you. I dare you tomorrow to go into work with a smile on your face, grateful to be alive, happy to have breath in your lungs, happy to have your health, happy to have not oil raining down from the skies, not fire burning all around you. Go to work grateful and happy, and you be nice to your coworkers, and you tell me how they receive it. Let me know. I go through it every day. Every day. And the more I deal with it, the more I go to my Bible, and the more the Bible tells me exactly who they are. All you can do is pray and just accept that we live in a world consumed with evil. And as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. I will not be consumed by evil. I will not participate in all of the the pride and ego and arrogance, the greed, the lust. For what? For what? Let me tell you something. I've traveled from New York City to California. I've lived in brand new condos. I've had 2-story homes with fireplaces in Pennsylvania. I've lived top and bottom. I've lived in a car for 3 years. I had a brand new 4Runner, brand new Harley, brand new condo making $100,000 a year. And I lived in a car for 3 years and I didn't eat for 9 days. I've seen the top and I've seen the bottom. I've gone to every club and restaurant around New York City, not all of them because there's too many, but I've been to some of the best. Old Homestead, Peter Luger's. I've been to some of the best restaurants in New York City. I've eaten at Gordon Ramsay's restaurant in Las Vegas. I've gone to Las Vegas, spent the weekend, won thousands of dollars, blew thousands of dollars. I've been up, I've been down. I've seen it all, I've done it all that I wanted to do personally. And at the end of the day, it didn't make a difference. It didn't change who I was. There isn't enough food, drugs, alcohol, or power to satisfy what everybody wants. Everybody wants the same thing. They want to be happy with themselves. That's what you really want. You want to be happy with yourself. But you don't want to put in the work to be happy with yourself. You don't want to get up and go to the gym and eat right and read positive material and be a good person. You would like to be a good person, but then you get around those people and they all start gossiping and talking about somebody else, and you just join right in and start backbiting and being a gossiper. And you start tearing down everybody else to make yourself feel better. That's what you do. Ladies and gentlemen, I keep saying the world will get better when people get better, but I am beginning to give up hope on humanity. I don't think anybody wants to get better. I don't think anybody wants to be better. I don't think anybody cares about anybody else. I think most people are cold, callous, selfish, greedy, and all they care about is their little addiction and their little life. They don't care about God. They don't care about children. They don't care about the future. They don't even care about their own family members. Their own family members. So, ladies and gentlemen, I pray that everyone will pick up their Bible, even if it's just a sentence, 2 sentences, a little excerpt. But I know it is hard. Hardest thing I ever did was give my life to God, because I thought life was going to get better. I genuinely thought when I gave my life to God and became a good person, doing the right thing, that life would get better. Turns out, I was so wrong. Hardest thing I ever did. I've never been treated so bad. I've never been disrespected so much. I've never been talked down to so much as when I just humbled myself and gave my life to God. It's like mankind just turned on me. But that's okay. That's okay. I'd rather suffer for Christ and take my reward in heaven than to live a good life here and burn in hell. And I honestly feel like those are your 2 options. I choose to suffer here and go to heaven than to live good here and go to hell. So thank you everyone for your time and attention. I do appreciate it. And I send these links out to everyone. And I really make these videos to send these links out. I don't do this for attention. I don't do this for money. I don't do this for no other reason than I'm sick of children being raped, murdered, and sold by the government. I can't believe my own government, my own fellow man, my own fellow citizen attacks me to defend the government raping, murdering, and selling children. I can't believe how people are behaving as human beings. I don't understand it. But the Bible says it's not for me to understand. So I pray everyone will take the time to consider these words I'm saying. There's a lot of noise out there, a lot of people saying a lot of things. What happened to human beings being human? What happened to that? What happened to everybody helping everybody? Why is everybody hating everybody? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time and attention. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'd like for these videos to go to as many people as possible. Maybe somebody can help me with my child to get his teeth, toenails, fingernails, and hair back. Or maybe my words will touch somebody and try to make them be a little bit better to their fellow man. I know I don't want to live in a world full of hate and evil. And that's what it is. So, God bless you all. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow.